Somewhere in the hills of Bangladesh, the landscape seems to remember a world most people never notice. This is Khagrachhari, a place where every turn reveals another layer of Bangladesh. Here, the flat delta gives way to hills, forests, streams, and a completely different rhythm of life. And the journey into Khagrachhari begins with a road that seems to disappear into the mountains. But the real story of these hills is not the scenery. It is the people who have shaped their lives around it.
Different communities have carried their languages, crafts, traditions, and memories through generations.
For the Chakma community, traditions are not simply preserved in museums, they continue through everyday life.
Among the Marma, culture also survives through craft, language, community, and traditions passed from one generation to the next.
And the Tripura communities add another chapter to the cultural landscape of these hills. Together, these traditions create something greater than a destination, a landscape with a living memory. Then, the hills reveal one of Khagrachhari's most intriguing places, Alutila. Inside the hill, darkness replaces daylight, and a narrow passage leads travelers into another world. Every step feels different here, because the mountain is no longer something you look at, it surrounds you. And then, almost suddenly, the darkness gives way to light. From above, Khagrachhari feels less like a single place and more like an endless sea of green. But the hills are never truly silent. Water is constantly moving through them. At Richhang, the forest suddenly opens to reveal water falling through the green. These streams connect the hills to the valleys, quietly shaping life along the way. Some places are remembered not only for their beauty, but for the stories people attach to them. Here, legend and landscape often exist side by side, but the real mystery is how much remains unknown. For generations, farming has adapted to the difficult terrain of the hills. Here, the land is not just scenery. It is part of the daily struggle for survival. Bamboo, forests, water, and fertile valleys have long been woven into everyday life here. Even ordinary materials can become expressions of identity when skilled hands give them meaning. And in these patterns, generations of memory can be seen without a single word. Life here begins early, long before most visitors ever see the hills.
In the markets, the quiet hills suddenly become full of movement, color, and conversation.
The hills also produce flavors that feel inseparable from the landscape itself. Among the hills' many agricultural treasures, pineapple is one of the most recognizable. Behind every landscape are people, whose daily work gives the place its character. Further north, the road leads toward Dighinala, where forest and settlement meet. Inside the forest, the world becomes quieter, and the smallest sounds suddenly matter. The forest is not empty. It is a crowded world of movement, too small to notice from a road. Follow the forest trails far enough, and water becomes the guide. Some of Khagrachhari's most beautiful views are earned one difficult step at a time. And once the climb is over, the reward is a landscape stretching far beyond the horizon. Then the pace changes again, as the mountains settle into the stillness of water. For a moment, the mountains seem to exist twice, once above the water and once inside it. Toward the western edge of the district, Ramgarh carries another layer of Bangladesh's history. During the Liberation War of 1971, this borderland became part of a much larger struggle for Bangladesh's independence. History here is not distant. It remains part of the landscape people travel through today. Khagrachhari has changed, but the mountains have remained the constant. Rivers such as the Chengi and Maini quietly connect the valleys to the wider world. For the people living here, water is not just beautiful, it is useful, necessary, and deeply woven into daily life. As evening arrives, the hills slowly lose their colors, but not their presence. After dark, the mountains become almost invisible, yet life continues beneath them. And under the same sky, generations have watched these hills change. Then morning returns, revealing the landscape exactly where we left it. But the next generation is growing up between two worlds, ancient traditions and a rapidly changing modern Bangladesh. The challenge is not choosing between the old and the new, but finding a way for both to survive. Culture survives when knowledge is passed from one pair of hands to another. During the spring celebrations, different communities bring their traditions into the public life of the hills. Music becomes another way memory travels, from one generation to the next. In many homes, tradition is preserved quietly, through work that rarely makes headlines. Now the hills look different, because we have seen the lives hidden inside them. Perhaps that is what makes Khagrachhari hidden, not that it cannot be found, but that it cannot be understood in a single visit. How much more is still waiting beyond the next hill? Maybe the answer is not another landmark, but another story. Because the deepest beauty of Khagrachhari is not something you simply see, it is something you slowly learn to understand. This is Khagrachhari, the hills that remember. And perhaps a part of Bangladesh you were never meant to see in a hurry.